Before you listen, take a deep breath, because this is not a speech for entertainment. This is a battle briefing for your mind. If you've ever felt broken by love, manipulated by emotions, weakened by attachment, or exhausted from fighting invisible wars inside your head, then listen carefully, not casually. Listen like your future depends on it. And before we go deeper, if these words speak to your struggle, press like and share. Not for me, but as a promise to yourself that you will not quit this inner battle. Subscribe, because this channel is not motivation, it is mental warfare training. Because the fiercest war is not fought with enemies outside, but with the voice inside that whispers fear. Conquer that voice, and no man or woman can ever chain your destiny. When attachment disguises itself as love, the mind becomes weak, begging for validation. True strength is loving deeply, without surrendering the throne of your inner peace. A man falls not when he loses love, but when he forgets his worth in the name of love. Mental warfare begins the moment you choose self-respect over emotional slavery. A woman's silence after pain is not weakness, it is strategy. The mind retreats only to return stronger, calmer, and unbreakable. Do not fight hatred with rage, for rage feeds the enemy. Starve them instead, with calm eyes, a disciplined mind, and unstoppable focus. Love that demands obedience is not love, it is control. The awakened mind bows to no person, only to truth and inner clarity. Your mind is a battlefield where memories attack like arrows. Train it well, for the one who controls memory controls suffering and walks free among chaos. A man who masters desire cannot be manipulated by beauty, nor broken by rejection. This is mental warfare, choosing discipline over momentary pleasure. A woman who understands her mind needs no revenge. Detachment becomes her weapon, silence her shield, and self-worth her ultimate victory. Do not seek closure from those who wounded you. The strongest closure is growth so loud that their absence no longer echoes in your mind. The mind collapses when it clings to expectations. Release them, and suddenly you are lighter, faster, and impossible to defeat. Love should sharpen your spirit, not dull your courage. If affection weakens your discipline, step back. Mental warriors choose clarity over emotional intoxication. A man becomes dangerous when he stops proving and starts improving. His silence speaks strength, his patience burns fire, and his mind no longer begs for approval. A woman wins the war the day she stops explaining her pain to those committed to misunderstanding her. Inner peace is not surrender, it is strategic withdrawal before a decisive return. Pain is not your enemy, attachment is. Pain teaches, attachment enslaves. Learn the lesson, drop the chain, and the mind stands victorious. Do not chase affection at the cost of self-control. The disciplined mind attracts naturally, while the desperate mind repels silently, even when surrounded by people. Your thoughts are soldiers. Train them poorly, and they betray you. Train them well, and even loneliness becomes a place of power. When love ends, let wisdom begin. Clinging prolongs suffering, but acceptance sharpens the mind and turns heartbreak into a forge for strength. The strongest revenge is not humiliation, but transformation. Outgrow the pain so completely that the past cannot recognize the warrior you have become. A calm mind in emotional chaos is the highest form of dominance. Those who react lose control. Those who observe win silently and permanently. A man who fears loneliness will accept chains disguised as love, but the awakened man chooses solitude, trains his mind, and becomes too powerful to be controlled. A woman who heals herself does not seek rescue. She becomes the storm others seek shelter from, yet she remains gentle, because power and compassion can coexist. Mental warfare is choosing patience when ego demands reaction. Every time you remain calm, you defeat an invisible enemy trying to rule your emotions. Do not let love turn into self-abandonment. True connection begins only after you learn to stand whole, without leaning on another soul. The mind that accepts impermanence cannot be shattered by loss. What comes may leave. What leaves makes space, and peace remains as the only permanent victory. A disciplined mind does not beg for affection, attention, or validation. It radiates presence, and those who are aligned naturally draw closer, without force. When desire commands the mind, suffering follows like a shadow. Break the command, and suddenly, even rejection feels light, temporary, and powerless. A man's strength is tested not by how hard he loves, but by how calmly he lets go when love turns into suffering. A woman's power awakens when she stops chasing emotional safety from unstable hearts. She builds stability within, and fear can no longer enter. The mind grows tired when it carries unnecessary people. Drop the weight. Not everyone deserves a permanent seat in your thoughts. Do not confuse attachment with loyalty. Loyalty is conscious choice. Attachment is fear. A fearless mind chooses freely and walks away without hatred. The one who understands suffering does not inflict it. This is true victory, to rise above pain without becoming its reflection. A calm response is the loudest warning to those who seek to provoke you. It tells them clearly, you no longer control this mind. A man becomes unstoppable when rejection stops hurting and starts teaching. Every no sharpens his direction, and discipline replaces desperation. A woman who no longer fears loss cannot be manipulated. She loves deeply, yet remains rooted, knowing her worth exists beyond any relationship. Mental warfare is not aggression, but awareness. The moment you see clearly, confusion dissolves, and suffering loses its power to command you. Do not poison your mind replaying conversations that already ended. What ended has taught enough. Move forward, with the silence of strength. The mind that seeks control over others loses control over itself. True mastery begins when domination is replaced by inner order and restraint. A man who respects silence hears truths others miss. In stillness, the mind reorganizes, strengthens, and prepares for battles unseen. A woman's clarity after emotional chaos is more powerful than anger. She no longer reacts, she chooses, and choice is ultimate freedom. The strongest mind does not rush healing. It allows pain to speak, listens without judgment, learns without attachment, and releases without bitterness. Love should never cost your inner discipline. If affection weakens your principles, it is not love. It is a test you are meant to pass. A man who controls his impulses controls his future. Desire bows to discipline. Emotion submits to awareness, and the mind becomes a weapon of clarity. A woman who chooses self-respect over emotional chaos wins a war no one sees, but everyone eventually feels. Peace becomes her presence. The mind breaks only when it resists reality. Acceptance is not defeat, it is alignment with truth, and truth always ends suffering. Do not fight the past. It has already happened. Fight the attachment to it, for that is where mental slavery still survives. A disciplined mind does not seek to be understood by everyone. It seeks alignment with truth, even if that means walking alone for a while. A man and woman suffer most, not because love ends, but because identity collapses with it. Build identity within, and love becomes addition, not survival. Silence after understanding is more powerful than arguments fueled by emotion. When clarity arrives, words become unnecessary, and peace stands undefeated. The ultimate mental victory is freedom from craving approval. When the mind stands independent, love becomes pure, loss becomes light, and fear loses its final weapon. If this strengthened your mind, leave a like. If this gave you clarity, subscribe. And if this helped you survive a battle no one knows about, share it, because someone else is still fighting.